We have more data than ever, but do we have more wisdom? Modern schools teach us what to think, but ancient philosophers focused on how to think. Today, we explore why their 2,500-year-old freedom of mind is still superior to our modern institutions. Imagine living 2,500 years ago. There were no satellite images, no electronics, and no modern technology, only the natural world. Yet, people at that time were asking questions that were as sophisticated as those studied today by institutions such as NASA. Consider the questions written by Pliny the Elder in Naturalis Historia. In the 1855 Latin to English translation published in Bonn's Classical Library, Pliny's Natural History, the book includes topics such as the form of the world, the elements and the planets, the nature of the stars and the motion of the planets, the eclipses of the moon and the sun, the magnitude of the stars. This book presents the answers given by philosophers to these questions. You can find videos about this book on this channel. These topics are remarkable when we consider the technological limits of that period. However, the subjects do not end there. The book also discusses the motions of the planets and the general laws of their relationships. Why the same stars have different motions. General laws of planetary movement. The reasons for the different colors of stars. The motion of the sun and the causes of irregular day lengths. Up to this point, the questions relate to fundamental sciences such as physics and geology, which are still studied today. There is more. The book also includes the distances of the stars, the dimensions of the world. These topics are closely related to what we now call geomatics or surveying engineering. Ancient thinkers considered how to measure the Earth and the universe without modern tools. They developed different ideas and contributed through debate and observation. This is impressive. They also addressed the classification of living organisms, discussing their nature, location, and species. In addition, they examined atmospheric and climate-related phenomena. Thunder and lightning. The origin of winds. Various observations about wind. They even explored advanced topics related to climate and the Earth itself, including the nature of the Earth, the form of the Earth. We will examine these subjects in detail in a later video. However, an important question remains: how could people without standard measurement systems, such as the metric or imperial system, think about such complex issues? How could they ask questions like that the Earth is at the center of the world? What exists at the center of the world? They also proposed theories about tides, under the topic the power of the moon over land and sea. This is truly remarkable. We can discuss the remaining topics in another video. The key question is this: how could people, without modern knowledge, tools, or formal education systems, be confident enough to ask such questions and respectful enough to consider different perspectives? What is the definition of civilization? One possible definition is the ability of people with different ideas to live together freely and share knowledge. This can be seen as the beginning of civilization, philosophy, and scientific inquiry. Today, institutions such as NASA and the European Space Agency, ESA, launch satellites to observe the Earth. These organizations are government-funded and financially dependent on states. In contrast, many ancient philosophers who addressed these fundamental questions were middle-class, entrepreneurial, or financially independent individuals. They did not prioritize social status or professions. For them, the highest form of humanity was the person who tried to understand nature. We should also remember that these thinkers lived in times when famine, natural disasters, and pandemics were common. This leads us to reflect: if they were human, are we? Modern society, equally human? Are we as curious? Can we contribute as much to humanity? Are we as civilized? Modern education systems mainly focus on preparing individuals for careers and practical life. However, do they teach the thinkers who formed the foundations of science? In today's age of artificial intelligence, automation, and information, perhaps the most valuable action is to read, discuss, and understand ancient philosophers. Learning to think like them may be a key to intellectual freedom. I'm exploring these timeless questions in my new journal entries here at SciPhiHi, and I'd love to have you with me. If you want to think, wonder, and explore the things together, please subscribe and join the conversation. Let's free our minds, one question at a time. See you in the next video.